look in the mirror, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is about Vivica A.Fox and how now she wants to have a man in her life when she is nearly 60 years old. So we're going to break this down, man. I'm going to take you to a part of this, a different angle that you probably ain't never heard before when it comes to this. So we're going to get down with it, man. Hold on, let me put it on the screen. I'm going to tear this up for you. I'm going to tear it up for you right now. Let's get it.
When I say a partner, I want someone that's going to be fun. Yeah. That's not intimidated by who and what I am. Yeah. That likes to travel. Yeah. Going to let me go shopping. Yeah.
I feel like you just spoke it into existence.
I hope so, girlfriend.
I feel like you.
So you got, and I'm taking applications.
Oh, you know,
I got a friend.
Okay.
We'll be all. And I don't discriminate. He can be. I'm not against different nationalities. Let you know that too.
Okay, hold on for a second. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to break down what she said. Now, she just told you she want a man that's not going to be intimidated by who and what she is, right? So the question is, we got to dive deep into the who, because who you are today may not be who you used to be 10 years ago. What you are today may not be what you was 10 years ago. See, a lot of women, when they are delusional, they get confused between the who and the what. So let me break it down like this. Vivica A.Fox, who she was 20 years ago, she was a woman that was fine, that was in shape. She was a well sought after actress. She was highly independent. Women wanted to be like her. She could have her pick of men back in those days when she was finer. That's who she was 20 plus years ago. Who she is now is a woman that is overweight, a woman who has so much cosmetic surgery done to her face that she looks more like Medea on Tyler Perry movies than she does Vivica Fox from Set It Off. Well, who she is right now is a woman that has possible health conditions. Who she is right now is a woman that men are not flocking to. Who she is right now is a woman whose career is on the decline. That's who she is right now. When a woman is delusional, they will always hang on to the best moments of their lives. The best moments of her life was 20 years ago. She started her acting career in the 80s, blew up in the 90s. Now look at her, 60 years old, begging for a man. This is who she is now. Now let's investigate the what, because she said, I want a man to love me for who I am and what I am. 20 years ago, you represented what you represented, the what you represented was an independent woman that you can't tell nobody shit to. You couldn't tell her nothing. She ran everything. She didn't need no man. That's what she was 20 plus years ago. Today, what she is a woman that's lonely, a woman that is depressed, a woman that's looking for true love, a woman right now who wants a man. So when you say you want a man not to be intimidated by who and what you are, let me ask you this. How can a man be intimidated by a woman who is a has-been? How can a man be intimidated by a woman who is washed up? How can a man be intimidated by a woman who is obese? How can a man be intimidated by a woman who, for all of her life, has been difficult and unpleasant to deal with when it comes to her relationships that were public? And I'm going to put up the 50 Cent one momentarily. And you're going to hear from her own mouth that she was just difficult to deal with. I don't know any man who is intimidated by a washed up, overweight woman who has the head shape of James Earl Jones. Vivica used to be a beautiful black woman. But the thing is, y'all, you women, you rely too much on your looks. You rely too much on the beauty on the outside, but you never give attention to the ugliness that is in your soul. And one thing you women, because Vivica thought she's going to be pretty forever. And we can see that's a lie right now. But I always tell y'all, everybody gets ugly when they get older. And this is not being funny. I'm not disrespecting nobody. But ladies, as you age, you're going to become more uglier. Your beauty is going to decrease. Okay? Now, a lot of you want to give me pushback because there are a handful, a few women who look good in their 40s and their 50s. Only a few. These are the women most times who keep their weight down, who eat right, who exercise, but it's still just a few. But these women who look so good for their age, they always think they can look just as good or if not better than a woman that is in her prime in her 20s. What you must understand, lady, is that you look good for your age. The key word is you look good for your age. You look good for a 40-plus-year-old woman. You look good for a 50-plus-year-old woman. You look good for a 60-plus-year-old woman. But if I was to take a woman that is a dime, a woman that is beautiful, a woman that is fine, a woman who has a lot of curves, and she's in her prime, and she's 23 years old, if I stand that 40-plus-year-old woman next to the woman who is in her prime, what we're going to see is two attractive women. But what we will not see is a woman that is 40-plus-year-old that looks better than a woman that is in her prime. Because that woman who is 40-plus years old is going to have some signs of aging. She's going to have some gray hair. She's going to have some wrinkles. She might even have some stretch marks. So just because you look good for your age does not mean that you can look better than a woman that is in her prime. See, the thing is, Vivica A.Fox has not hit the wall. She crashed into it. She's 60-year-old. Again, she says she's looking for a man who is not intimidated by her, right? Name one man who's going to be intimidated by having a woman who may die in the next 5 or 10 years. She's 60 years old. And majority of the life expectancy for black people, black men, black women, from my understanding, some women tend to live a little longer than men. It's anywhere from 65 to 70 something. She got another decade at best, possibly. I hope she had more longer life, but at best, we're looking at 70 something years old. She's 60. How can a man be intimidated by a woman who's about to kick the bucket and possibly cannot bring him children? Where is the intimidation in that, Vivica? You're not Vivica A.Fox no more. You are Vivica, not a fox no more. You used to be a fox, but you're not a fox no more. You're more like Vivica, the mustard-back heifer. Now, once you become a mustard-back heifer, there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from being a mustard-back heifer. It's over with. But she should have focused on her personality. She should have focused. See, this is payback for her laughing at Kevin Samuel's death and mocking and celebrating, saying that he died simply because of how he spoke to women. But now that you're here on my screen, everything that Kevin Samuel said about a woman, especially in regards to you, is true. Now, you want to have a man. Now, check this out. I was talking to someone earlier about this. Just because you have success, just because someone told you to get your education to be the best you can be all you can be, like the military, right? What they're not telling you is this right here. Once you get those things, that natural, innate desire to be with someone is going to take over. And when you get older, the older you get, the more lonelier you're going to get. Did you know that? The older you get, the lonelier you're going to become when you don't have someone in your life, lady. They're not telling you that. Then it's too late, because she's over the hill. She's at the bottom of the hill. Ain't nobody gonna try to get with this woman. This is why she's saying she's taking applications. That's a sign of desperation. I'm open to every race now. But you wasn't at first when you were hot and you was on top of the world. Vivica Fox is an example of bad teachings from other women. Vivica Fox is an example of single women keeping other women single. Because a lot of these women that she had talked with on panels were in the same situation she's in right now. Lonely, can't keep a man. So no, Vivica, who you are now is not who you used to be. You are going through cognitive dissonance. You see reality in a way that is not factual. You are not that hot woman in the 90s no more. You're not as successful as that hot woman was in the 90s anymore. You're not as fine and as young and as in your prime as you was in the 90s back then. Now you are Grandma Vivi. Vivica Fox is Grandma Vivi, the mustard back heifer. And there's nothing that she can do to change that. There's nothing. Let us keep going. I'm gonna play this again, and we'll get into some more clips. I just want to put that out there. Told you I'm gonna dive deep into this thing. I'm gonna play that clip again. Let's get it. Excuse me.
That's not intimidated by who and what I am. That likes to travel. Gonna let me go shopping.
I feel like you just spoke it into existence.
I hope so, girlfriend.
I feel like you just
So you got, and I'm taking applications.
Oh,
so you got a friend.
Okay.
I'm good.
We'll be all.
And I don't discriminate. He can be. I'm not against different nationalities. Let you know that too.
She's desperate right now, y'all. She's very, very, very desperate. Dang, did that get louder? I hope I didn't want to scream in y'all ear off when I had that mic in my mouth a while ago. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying about 50 Cent. So you can see what it is from her own lips. Here we go.
You know, I've said this many times before. 50 Cent was the love of my life. He was the one that, dang, kind of blew that one. Happens. I was young, had been used to taking care of myself. You know, 50 wanted me to be his princess, you know, and I didn't get it.
There you go. I was young and was so used to taking care of myself. 50 Cent wanted me to be his princess. This multi-millionaire wanted me to be his princess. In other words, he wanted you to be submissive. He wanted you to be feminine. He wanted you to follow his lead. But like you said a while ago, you was used to doing things yourself. What it is, that independent mindset is keeping many of you women single, destroying relationship potentialities. Good men, successful men cannot even be with you. And then you become as old as this woman here is, in her 60s, when it's too late to change what has happened to you. Now you realize that you're no longer the spring chicken. The only animal that you are now is a musty back heifer.
I was young, had been used to taking care of myself. You know, 50 wanted me to be his princess, you know, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it. So, you know, my fault. But I am so glad to report to everybody that there is peace. There's no, we used to go at it publicly, trust with it, and it wasn't by my choice. You know, I think it's just the nature of the beast, of who he was, not understanding who I was. But, you know, he's happy now. He's a beautiful girlfriend, and I'm very happy for him, so leave my ass alone.
Did you learn anything from that relationship?
Sure. Let a man be a man.
There you go. Let a man be a man. In other words, let a man be a leader in the household. Let me shut the fuck up. That is a lot of y'all women problem. You don't know when to shut up. You don't know how to follow a man's lead. See, the worst thing that can happen to a woman is become successful. That's the worst thing that can happen to any woman, is for her to become successful. I know that sounds crazy, but because women don't have emotional intelligence, they don't know how to really restrain themselves. That ego just that ego skyrockets, man. If you give a woman a lot of money right now and let her be successful, she's going to feel that she doesn't need you. So there's a reason why relationships exist, because relationships is where both of you feel that you need each other. And the problem is, a man, when he gets with a woman, he don't want to feel that he needs her for financial, stability. If he is, he's a beta male, he'll suck or he'll wimp. He need to get off his ass and go to work and build himself into the best version of himself. But if a man gets with a woman, the only thing he needs from a woman is compassion, femininity, love. He needs her to be attentive to his needs. He needs her to give him words of affirmation, the things that money cannot buy. Now, a man can buy something that is counterfeit of that. What do I mean? You can get a woman that's a gold digger and spend her some money, and when she see that you spending money, she start to act like those things, but those things are not genuine. They're not authentic. But every man can tell, a real man can tell when it's not authentic, when a woman is just hustling him and swindling him for his money. But when he get a real woman and she really dig him and he digging her, then he can feel when a woman's being real. That's what a man wants from a woman. He needs that. That's when a man is in need of a woman. Now, a woman, she's supposed to need that man for direction and guidance and authority, protection and provision. Even for religious belief, even teaching her spirituality. That's what she's supposed to be doing. But in order for her to do that, she has to be a willing student. In other words, she has to be humble. There's no such thing as a student who is not humble. If you have a student who is rebellious, they will not listen to you. They'll do anything to get thrown out of class. You get what I'm saying? They won't stop talking in class. They won't stop joking in class and shit. You got to send them out to the principal and get on their ass because they don't want to be submissive to the authority of the teacher. So now, when you give a woman a whole lot of success, she is just as rebellious as that little child in that classroom. What you will discover, gentlemen, that today's modern day black women are nothing more but tall children. They act like children. They fully developed children. They have no domestic skills. They don't want to cook. They don't want to do the basic things because they're children. They want you to spoil them. When you put a woman on the pedestal, all that you're doing is spoiling a child. When you overvalue a woman, all that you are doing is spoiling a child. That's all that means. When we say we put a woman on the pedestal, that means that we are spoiling her. Only a sucker, a simp, a lame simp, and a sucker simp, a beta male will overvalue a woman like that. You never spoil a woman. You never overvalue a woman. You treat her as something that is valuable if she fits into your plans. But you never overvalue a woman, because when you overvalue a woman, you are putting her emotional state of being and her mental state of being, her spiritual state of being over your own. That's when you overvalue a woman. That's when you take disrespect from a woman because you are so afraid of letting her go. You are so afraid of her leaving you because you overvalue that woman, but you don't value yourself. You don't love yourself enough. You never love somebody more than you love yourself. The only person you love more than yourself is God. Because whenever you love, even your kid, even your wife, that's what you're thinking. You're not supposed to overlove. No. You love your wife and your children from your heart. You don't love your wife and your children with all your heart because you see it all the time. When a motherfucker love their children with all their heart, they let their children do anything. They don't want to whip the children. They don't want to discipline the children. They don't want to discipline the children because they don't want to hurt their feelings. They don't ever want to correct the wife because he don't want her to leave. This is what happens when you love them with all your heart. You got to use your mind when you love. You're a man. You love with your sensibility. You love with your logic. You're a man. Be a man. You don't never give everybody your entire heart. You just love them from your heart. That means that you're genuine. You're expressing yourself in a genuine way when it comes to your emotional attachment to that person. Can you dig what I'm saying? Dig that before you dig that, Jack. But anyway, let's keep going. I'm about to be done with this, man.
That's the biggest lesson that I learned dating 50 Cent was that when a man wants to take care of you, let him. Well, I think that was 50's peace offering for he and I to do the video. He would always pop up in my life, times that I never told anyone, that I always keep to myself.
The times that he popped up that she will always keep to himself is when 50 Cent was giving her the dick. All right. It's funny how women try to speak in this code or something like that. But real players and real pimps and real Mac understand what she's talking about. He just pops up. 50 was still nailing that broad. Even though they was having all them issues in public, even though they're not together, 50 was fucking. That's what that means.
That I always keep to myself. That was nice to know that he still cared, but I always kept it private. And my relationship with 50 taught me in the future to always keep my relationships private. That was the biggest problem. We went public way too fast. We were so into each other. It was like, oh, let's let the whole world know we like each other. Because he said that little thing on BET, which to this day they always play. I want to thank Vivica Fox for wearing that dress.
That's how she used to look. That's how she looked. Now, you know how she looks now? Nothing like that. That's how she would look, man. Vivica was a fine woman, boy. I'm gonna tell you, Vivica was a nice looking woman, man. She was a real fox, man. She was hot, boy. She was hot. Now she not hot no more. She cold as hell right now. She not nothing like that. Look at that Coke bottle shape she had, boy. She had a Coke bottle shape now. Now she shaped like a can of chunky soup. And ain't nothing you can do about it, Vivica. It's over with, man. It's through. Not with the R, not through, but through. You through. It's over with. It's out of there. You'll never work in this town again. It's over. It's done. You can't do it, man. You can barely fit in your own house, man. That's how big it gotten. I'm just being real. I'm telling you this out of love. You're probably eating right now, but I'm telling you right now, it's over. You should change your name from Vivica Fox to Vivica Elephant. That's what you should be. That's about right. Vivica Water Buffalo. That'd be better for you. You know what I mean? I'm just letting you know I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm not trying to bully you. I'm showing this is my humble opinion. But that Fox need to drop off your motherfucking name right now. Shit, man. Shit, Vivica Predator. Something other than Fox. Something that is not associated with something sexy, because it's over with. It's through. It's over. It's buried. It's dead. Let's keep going.
So was he your first and only celebrity that you've ever dated in the industry?
I'll never tell.
Shit, it don't matter if you tell or not. Nobody wants you. You can tell whoever. It don't matter if you tell anybody. Nobody come. These dudes that you used to mess with in the industry, they don't want you either, girl. You too. Boy. It's crazy. What time I get this Patreon, y'all? I'm going to cut loose. I'm going to cuss how I want to cuss. I'm going to talk how I want to talk. I'm going to joke how I want to joke. I'm going to do all that shit on Patreon, man. I got to hold back on here and shit. Shit. Vivica the Elephant. Anyway. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Jeremy Hill Show. I'll be talking to y'all pretty soon. As I always say, y'all take it easy now. You hear?